Now we study what are the relief features of India or the relief divisions. India can be divided into following 5 divisions. First being the Himalayan mountain complex. This is the first relief feature or the first physiographic division of India. First being the Himalayan mountain complex. Second is the Indus Ganga Brahmaputra plain or the northern plain. Indus Ganga Brahmaputra plain, which is also known as the northern plain. The third being the Peninsular Plateau. To the extreme south of India, we have the Peninsular Plateau. The fourth physiographic division being the coastal plains, both on the eastern and western side of the Peninsular Plateau. Fifth being the islands, the Lakshadweep and the Andaman Nicobar Islands. So first we will start with the Himalayan mountain complex. This we will use the map of India to have the clarification about the mountain ranges comprising the Himalayas. So having a look at the map, we can see that this to the extreme north, this is known as the Pamir Knot. The east of the Pamir Knot or from the Pamir Knot, we can see the Kunlun mountain. Though this is not a part of the Himalayan mountain complex, just to give you an idea of Hindu Kush ranges, the Pamir Knot and the Kunlun mountains. This is the Hindu Kush range. Now starting with the Himalayan mountain complex, we can see that these mountain ranges run for about 2,400 kilometers from Indus River in the west to Brahmaputra River in the east. So you can see the comparative location of the Indus River. So in the map you can see to the west we have the Indus River. Other rivers are also over here. This is the Jhelum River. This is the Ravi. And here it is the Satluj. In the east you can see that this is the Brahmaputra River. These are just some extensions of the river. So in order to give you a depiction of how the Himalayan ranges extend, so there is a other course of these rivers also which we study in another chapter on drainage. So the Himalayan mountain complex, these mountain ranges run for about 2,400 kilometers from Indus River in the west to Brahmaputra River in the east. So the average width of the Himalayas is 160 to 400 kilometers. 160, the width is it is in Arunachal Pradesh, and in Kashmir region you can find the width is 400 kilometers. The Himalayan mountain, it is not just one range but a group of 3 mountain ranges running almost parallel to one another all along its longitudinal axis. The Himalayan mountain ranges is also we can study it under different heads, first being the Great Himalayas or the Inner Himalayas, second being the Outer Himalayas or the Sub-Himalayas, which are also known as the Shivalik range, and the third, the first being the Great Himalayas or the Inner Himalayas, second being the Lesser or the Middle Himalayas, and the third being the Outer Himalayas or the Sub-Himalayas, which are also known as the Shivalik range. So before having a look at the Himalayas, first you can just watch what are the classifications. First being the Great Himalayas. These are also known as the Inner Himalayas. Second being the Lesser or the Middle Himalayas. Third being the Outer Himalayas. Or the Sub-Himalayas. These are also known as the Shivalik range. This is the position of the Great Himalayas. Let me just first draw all the ranges and then we can have a closer look of the various mountain ranges or the parts of the Himalayas. As you can see on the screen that these ranges, these extensions, these are the Great Himalayas. It is for your understanding that I am using these arrows, but students of geography should not use these arrows. It is on the mountain ranges that you should write the name of the range. So the Great Himalayas, this is the highest mountain range of the Himalayan system. It always remains snow covered and is generally referred to as Himadri. Its average altitude exceeds 6,000 meters and its average width is 25 kilometers. Almost all the important peaks are located in this range. For example, the Mount Everest. Its height above sea level, it is 8,848 meters, but is not a part of India, it is in Nepal. Kanchenjunga, its height above sea level, 8,598 meters, it is in India. Makalu range, its height above sea level, 8,481, it is also in Nepal. Other important mountain peaks are Dhaulagiri, Naga Parvat, Annapurna, Nanda Devi, Namcha Parvat. Here one can find Nanda Devi. To further east, you can find Kanchenjunga. And to further more east, you can find here Namcha Parvat. Now coming to the lesser or the middle Himalayas. As I have already said that these are also known as Himachal. It is located in the south of the Great Himalayas and runs parallel to it in the east-west direction. This is the east-west direction. Its average height is from 3,700 to 4,500 meters and it is nearly 80 kilometers wide on an average. Its important branches are the Pir Panjal and the Dhauladhar. You can have a look in the map. This one. These are the Pir Panjal ranges. In between the greater Himalayas and the lesser Himalayas, that is, you can see that on the location, on the map, the location of the Great Himalayas and the Pir Panjal. In between these two, there are longitudinal valleys. For example, the valley of Kashmir, the Kathmandu valley. Some of the important hill resorts such as Shimla, Mussoorie, Dalhousie, Nainital, Darjeeling, these are also located in this range. Coming to the outer Himalayas or the sub-Himalayas, as I have already said that these are also known as the Shivalik range. The southernmost range of the Himalayas, it is the Shivalik range. This one you can see in the map, the extent of the Shivalik range. Generally in geography, we don't use the green color for explaining the mountains. It is just to give you a clear depiction. Otherwise, brown color it is used to depict the mountains, or you can use just the pen. The southernmost range of the Himalayas, it is the Shivalik range, and its height is from 900 to 1,200 meters. Its width varies from 10 to 50 kilometers. In between the lesser and the outer Himalayas, there are longitudinal valleys. These are known as zones in the west and dwarfs in the east. For example, Dehradun, it is an important hill station also, Kotri Dun and Patli Dun. So just having the look of the important points of the various mountain ranges. First, we have studied the Greater Himalayas. Its average altitude was 6,000 meters and its height and its average width is 25 kilometers. Then we have studied the lesser or the middle Himalayas. Its important branches were Pir Panjal and the Dhauladhar. In this we have seen that there was the presence of longitudinal valleys. Third, we had studied the outer Himalayas or the Shivalik range. In Shivalik range, in this also we have studied the longitudinal valleys which are known as dunes and dwars. They are known as dunes in the west and they are known as dwars in the east. Example of the valleys in the middle Himalayas, these were Kathmandu valleys and the Kashmir valley. And of the examples of the longitudinal valleys of the Shivalik range, we have the examples like Dehradun and Kotli Dun. Now this was the general classification of the Himalayas. Now there is another scientist who has made the regional division of the Himalayas. The name of this regional division of Himalayas. Now we are studying the regional division of Himalayas. This division was given by Sir S. Burrard. So according to Sir S. Burrard, the Himalayas are generally regarded as consisting of following four main sections which are separated from one another by the gorges of rivers which pass through them. First, these are the Punjab Himalayas. Second being the Kumayu Himalayas. Third being the Nepal Himalayas. And the fourth being the Assam Himalayas. So now coming back to the Punjab Himalayas, this section of Himalayas, it lies between the river Indus and the Satluj. And so these are known as the Punjab Himalayas because the state Punjab has a similar extension. It is also called the Jammu Kashmir and Himachal Himalayas because most of this section is located in these two states. This section is 560 kilometers long and the important ranges of this section are the Ladakh range, the Pir Panjal, the Dhauladhar and the Zaskar range. So in the map, we will see the location of these ranges. This is the Ladakh range. This you can mark as the Ladakh range. And this, it is the Zaskar mountains or the Zaskar range. Pir Panjal we have already marked in the map. The Zojila Pass, it is at an altitude of 3,444 meters above the sea level, which is also a part of the Punjab Himalayas. This was the first region. Now coming to the Kumayu Himalayas. This section, it runs for a distance of 320 kilometers between the Satluj and the Kali rivers. Sometimes in MCQs you are asked about the ranges and the two rivers in between which we have the extent of these regions. So you should remember that the Punjab Himalayas, they were between the Indus and the Satluj, and the Kumayu Himalayas, they are present between the Satluj and the Kali rivers. This is higher than the Punjab Himalayas. Rivers like Ganga and Yamuna, they have their sources in the Kumayu Himalayas. Coming to the third one, that is the Nepal Himalayas. It is situated between the Kali and the Tista, and it is 800 kilometers long. Most of it is located in Nepal and hence its name. This is the highest part of the Himalayas where lofty peaks like the Everest, the Kanchenjunga, the Dhaulagiri, the Annapurna, Makailu, etc. are located. Kathmandu Valley, it is also located in the Nepal Himalayas. And the fourth one, it is the Assam Himalayas. It extends for a distance of 720 kilometers between the Tista and the Dihang, which is also known as the Sanko Brahmaputra. So, now we have the main points or the rivers between which these following four Himalayas are present.